Now, funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you?
You're tired.
Well, the lunchtime whistle and the morning's finally done. I'm jumping in my car, I'm gonna have a little fun. The Doghouse Network's on my radio dial. Big Dog's taking care of business for a while. If you're listening to another station I don't understand, 'cause nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
Give us a call, Steve.
He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the junkyard dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Titan Tiger Land, nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
And good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a Beat the Big Dog Thursday in the Doghouse. I am your host, Thom Abraham. So glad that you have joined us for this 2-hour exercise in radio excellence. We'll see if we can't get it done for you. We are doing it today from the annual Huntsville Boat Show at the VBC. Now, if you haven't been to the boat show in a couple of years here, more than a couple of years here, this is not that old boat show, which was very much less than impressive. This is the new boat show that began here in 2022 and, quite frankly, is spectacular. Now, this is the calm before the storm here today. Since the show begins at 2 today, the doors will remain open until 8 tonight. Tomorrow, the doors open at noon and will once again be on location for day 2. Now, day passes are $15. It gets you in for that particular day. And for $25, you get the entire 4-day pass. You can come and go. And it might take more than a day to see all the great stuff that they've got here at the boat show here at the North Hall at the VBC. Now, organizer Ryan Jones will join us a bit later on with more details. He's coming up at the bottom of this first hour. And also on the show today, Tom Luginbill from ESPN, ABC, the ACC Network. He'll be back with his thoughts on the Natty for Monday night. Luke's is coming up at the top of the one. Now, we welcome those of you that are watching on WZZN TV, our YouTube channel, although we're having a bit of an issue connecting the cameras for whatever reason, and I'm not sure why that is happening, but in any event, you can listen. I think you are able to listen to the show there. I'm not 100% sure, but we also welcome the listeners on 97.7 ESPN, the app, and those listening over the air in Winchester, Tennessee, on ESPN Winchester. Lines are open at 256-5764. 97.7. You can also text the show, 732-9TA-SHOW. That's 732-982-7469 for those of you that are Alpha Challenged. It's a great way to communicate with us. My X feed is at Thom Abraham Show. The Zone is on X at 97.7 ESPN. You can go ahead and throw a follow to at ESPN Winchester as well. And get all the apps. You know, get the app for the Zone. Get the app for Talk Radio WZZN. There's more great programming there. And you want to snag the new ESPN Winchester app as well for all of their great content. And make sure that you keep an eye on all the socials and your local listings and the calendars and so on at the various websites so you know what games are on, when, and where. The Zone has all your NFL playoff action right through the Super Bowl and the national championship game on Monday night between Ohio State and Notre Dame. Will be on both the Zone and on ESPN Winchester. Plus, Alabama and UAH Hoop is on the Zone, while the Havoc are streaming on the Havoc Zone, which is one of our stations that you'll find at the app. And the Chargers also streaming on the Charger Zone. A lot of those games on the air as well on one of the two stations. And ESPN Winchester has all your Tennessee Vol action, plus they got some high school hoop. Well, you get the point here, right? You're getting the point here that everything that you need to know is on these radio stations. You just got to kind of follow along and see where you're gonna find those things. Now, don't forget, by the way, about big Zone deals as well. I better double check this as well because we put up Lawlers today, and Lawlers is always very, very popular. And we restocked the Lawlers inventory And you're going to want to get in on that deal. Lawler's, it's good at all of their locations. So, and I think they have something like 13 locations between Southern Tennessee and North Alabama. So you're going to want to jump on that Lawler's deal. I'm looking at it right now, and it's more than half done, okay? It's more than half gone right now. So go ahead and take advantage of that deal as well. Now, coming up after Thom Luginbill today, we will get this week's episode of Beat the Big Dog in. If you beat me, I'll hook you up with $50 worth of Lawler's Barbecue and a pair of the highly sought-after tickets for an upcoming Havoc game. And as far as I know, the Havoc are still selling out every single game. It's been over a year now consecutively that the Havoc have sold out. So this is a great opportunity to snag those. Now, last week I was miserable. I mean, I was a miserable 1-5, and I allowed the Porch Dog to beat me while he went 2-4. I mean, you go 2-4, you should get slammed and beat the Big Dog. I went 1-5. I mean, this season has been nuts. I am now 48-54 against the spread. A full 6 games under 500. And remember, this thing ends at the Super Bowl. We'll have the prop fecta and the beat the big prop. We'll have that before the week before the Super Bowl, and then the Super Bowl with 5 or 6 more picks there. I mean, it's just nuts. And I'm 5 games back of you guys who are 53-49. So there are 6 picks this week. I'm going to have to get on my Honda here. 6 picks this week. I got the 4 NFL playoff games, plus the side and the totals in the Natty on Monday night. Speaking of the Natty, so Paul Feinbaum took a shot at Ohio State, saying that he was pulling for Notre Dame since they were playing the game with, quote, Alabama's safety and Ole Miss's running back, end quote, implying that the Buckeyes bought their roster with the $20 million that they spent on NIL, which, ironically, is about the amount that the NCAA is going to allow schools to pay directly from the school to their athletes beginning next season. And remember, that has to be spread out amongst all of the athletes, not just the football team. But they'll have $20 to $22 million that they can pay directly to athletes out of whatever coffers, the money that they're getting from TV, the money that they get from their own boosters, and so on. Some of the colleges have started disassociating with their NIL collectives now, and they're saying, look, you just give that money to us and we'll pay the kids directly. But you got to remember, the school's money, the money that the school will pay the kid, does not preclude outside NIL money as well. So that's not going away, just like in the professional sports world. It's not going away. LeBron James gets a salary from the Lakers, and then he gets paid by DraftKings to do those hilarious commercials with Kevin Hart. Devontae Adams gets paid by the Jets, and then Taco Bell puts a store in his house. You know, so understand that. Yeah, just because it's being moved into, you know, the scenario where the schools can now pay direct, they can pay a quarterback $1 million out of all their revenue that they get, regardless of where it comes from. Jersey revenue, other memorabilia stuff, TV money, tickets, it doesn't matter. All right? We know that the top universities are making a profit in their, in sports, which gets spread around all of the other sports. We don't know how this is going to happen, how this is going to work with Title IX. I mean, you got to pay the last girl at the end of the bench on a volleyball team. You got to throw her a little cake too. I mean, it's just the way it is. All right, that's the way it's going to work. But it doesn't stop NIL. It doesn't stop these athletes from making money from their name, image, and likeness. You know, who knows what that situation might be. Olivia Dunn, is she still in college? So Olivia Dunn, the gymnast, who is the NIL darling from LSU, who makes money based on the fact that she's an outstanding athlete. I'm sure it has nothing to do with the way she looks. Yeah, nothing to do with that. I mean, she's a women's gymnast, you know what I mean? I mean, who wouldn't pay buku dollars to have a women's gymnast, represented? I mean, come on, right? Sure, nothing to do with the way she looks. So she's out there getting paid NIL money from that Lycra, workout clothes people, she can still get that. Whether LSU pays her $1 million or $2 million or whatever, she'll still get dough from her NIL stuff. So that's how that works. So back to these swarmy comments from Feinbaum. By the way, don't forget about Seth McLaughlin, Feinbaum, the Alabama center. Remember, Alabama couldn't get rid of him fast enough. He struggled with snaps in all of 2023, sideways snaps, high snaps, everything else. And then Caleb DeBoer brings his center with him from Washington, who had a fine season, while McLaughlin ends up a consensus All-American while winning the Remington Award as the best center in the entire country. Now, he's been hurt for the playoffs. We get that. But he was a huge part of the Ohio State story this year. So Kirk Herbstreit, he goes on the game day, and he seemed to take great offense to that premise, before the Texas game, saying that the Buckeyes used the money to keep their team together, not to go out and buy other players. Basically saying that, well, yeah, sure, they got a starting safety, and they got a backup running back, without mentioning the center from Alabama. And, oh, by the way, the friggin' quarterback they got from Kansas, Will Howard. And are they in the natty without those four guys? I'm going to say no. As good as the defense is, by adding Caleb Downs, that's a game changer. McLaughlin, game changer. That's the guy making all the calls for the offense. And the quarterback. And by the way, that backup running back, Quinshon Junkins from Alabama, from the state of Alabama, who they got from Ole Miss, he rushed for almost 1,000 yards. And he has a 5.2 yard per carry average. Now back to Feinbaum, saying that Notre Dame grew their own players. Quote, except for that guy they got from Duke. Wait, what? That guy they got from Duke, Riley Leonard, is the single most important guy that they have on that team. That's the reason why they are in the natty as well. So we have two mercenary quarterbacks squaring off in the national championship game. But it's hilarious. I didn't pull for Notre Dame because, they didn't steal a safety from Alabama and a running back from Ole Miss. And then Kirk Herbstreit, hey, Ohio State didn't go out and buy players. Their quarterback, their safety, their quote-unquote backup running back's got 1,000 yards. Their center, who Alabama kind of kicked to the curb anyway. Just saying, okay, just saying. All right, over in Mission Control. Playing the Play Doesn't Matter, the Stacks of Wax, answering the phones, keeping us on the air, trying to figure out why we can't get on the video portion of the show. Joe Hunk is on the job.
Baby shark, baby shark.
Hello, I'm looking for some horsemen.
I've got plenty. How many you need?
4.
4 horsemen. Can't hardly understand what you're saying, but...
Sorry, I got a little bit of a lisp.
If I saw myself in clothes like those, I'd have to kick my own ass.
Tom, can you get me off the hook? For old time's sake.
Who in the blue hell are you?
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and polish.
What is your name?
Detective.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
And this is important because once you get that third one,
They hit that little tank, get that heroic ability.
Satisfaction is guaranteed. So passionate.
You're next!
So long, Nashville, Tennessee. You can't have what's left of me. And as far as I can tell.
Now, Joe, I know that you love the the little room with the glass window and the slanted ceiling. I know that it's like a little cave for you, a little cocoon. I know you love being there, but I gotta say, it does not suck to be over here in the North Hall with all of these fantastic boats that are all over the place: ski boats, pontoon boats, all kinds of boats. It's quite spectacular over here.
Oh, no.
I know you
and,
don't want to
and
be
look,
here, but
look,
it's pretty cool.
No, and I've worked a ton of boat shows in my life at the VBC, and even though I'm not a boat guy, I'm not a water guy, like that's not me. The one thing that always interested me was going around and seeing the boats and seeing it how much has progressed, I should say, in technology when it comes to the boats. I'm talking about like just for entertainment purposes, not so much, obviously the GPS and all that, but also the ability to do as much on a boat that you possibly can. And yes, I may not should have done this, but when I was working the South Hall and I was sitting there and I was helping with these events, I would be like getting into the boats and looking and going, they have this in a boat? Like, are you serious? I didn't know you could even put this in a boat.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing.
The pontoons have become ridiculous. I mean, what they're doing right now with a pontoon boat is absolutely bonkers. And, some of them, I mean, they're just so spectacular. I'm a little bit nervous about my wife coming over here because, I got the Bassmaster Radio Phoenix 919 ZXL.
Oh, no, I've never heard you talk about it. What's that?
Yeah, I don't know if you knew that.
No,
But I got that bad boy, and that is like a Corvette. You know what I mean? That's a two-person gig. That's not like take the family out on the boat deal. It's like a Corvette, all right? And it's like, all right, and it's functional in terms of the fishing, and it's functional in terms of it's a go fast. You know what I mean? Like, let's go. It's a 2 speeds with that thing. Fast and stopped. All right, those are the 2 speeds. So that's a different animal. My wife, and with the new boat, I did get a ladder installed on the power poles on the back so she can jump in the water. She loves jumping. She wants to do 2 things. She wants to lay there in the sun on the back of the boat while I'm fishing at the front of the boat, and then she gets sweaty, and then she wants to jump in the lake, and she wants to float around in the lake on a noodle, which fishing then becomes useless because, you know what I mean?
You've jumped in the lake and the fish are gone.
She jumps in the lake. She's enjoying that and everything. I'm like, oh, what's going on now? I didn't even throw her a rope so that when I'm using the trolling motor to kind of move along, I just drag her along behind me while she's on her noodle back there in the water. The thing is that it was always very, very difficult to get back into the boat. So with the new power poles that are on the new, I don't know if you heard it, it's a Phoenix 919 ZXL. So with the power poles have a ladder on them now that drops into the water, so she can very easily get in and out of the boat. But the thing is, she loves a pontoon boat because she wants to go out with the whole family and cook out and jump in and out the platform and everything else. So I'm afraid that if she comes by here and she sees these spectacular pontoons, I'm going to end up buying another boat. And here's the thing. If I end up with another boat, the problem is going to be if I end up with another boat, I'll never get out on the bass boat.
No,
she's always going to want to go out on the pontoon boat.
You also realize that you just described your boat as what a person buys when they're going through a midlife crisis, right? Like you just compared it towards a Corvette, which is like the absolute number one red flag with most men when they're going through a midlife crisis.
Yeah, but it's a functional boat. I mean, I think that if we get the cameras working, we have midlife crisis boats here.
Oh, I bet you. Yeah,
we have got some serious boats here that these cobalt ski boat type things that are loaded with testosterone.
Yeah,
we got those. My boat is very functional. You know what I mean? You're working it.
What you're saying is that if Fast and Furious was on water and not on land, that they would be using some of the boats that are at the boat show. Like Vin Diesel would be driving some of these boats.
And he would be like jumping over bridges and landing. He would be going like over a waterfall, and he would be able to go down like 500 feet, and he would land perfectly flat, and there would be no dents or dings on the boat, and then he would be able to continue to drive. Now, by the way, Baby Abe is here. Now, he hooked up all of this camera stuff to his computer, and apparently it's working. Now, I don't know. Are you connected to StreamYard too?
Yeah, no.
For the show?
Look, now basically what you're saying is he's basically just said that the reason why this was not working properly was because of user error.
No, it can't be user error. It may be computer error. It may be something that's going on with my computer. There I am. Look at that.
Yeah. I think if I remember correctly, a phrase that I've heard on the Thom Abraham Show before is the biggest issue sometimes with what's going wrong with the computer is what is between the computer and the chair.
Yeah.
And I think I've heard that phrase before.
Yeah, between the computer screen and the back of the chair.
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, we're up. That's good. So now you guys can watch on the WZZN TV. I don't know how or why or what he did or how he ended up from there over there, but I'll find out during the break, that's for sure. So we got a lot going on the show today. We do have a Beat the Big Dog. We got college football talk. I have some ratings talk I want to get into. Arena Golf saw a 9% increase in audience, so we've got that as well. Now, wait a minute. Who did that? Now, you're able to switch cameras and see both cameras?
Yeah, we all can. Whoever is in the system right now can work on the show at that point in time.
So it must have been you because, John's over here talking to Rogan, so I'm thinking so you from back there can actually control the multiple cameras.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no.
Do that again. I want to see that.
Yeah, so there it is right there and this is what I'm utilizing is showing the boat that is right in front of you right now at the boat show. That is one of the ones that you're talking about because with the way this one's designed, this is the one that you can use to go wakeboarding with. This is a wakeboarding boat.
This is a wakeboarding boat here. Yeah. Let me just, and I'm going to move the camera a little bit.
Just because I'm not a boat guy doesn't mean I don't know what the boat's use is.
See, there's a wakeboarding boats. There's a bunch of them over here at this end. Rambo Marine, our friends at Rambo Marine are here as well, so that's way down the line. And John's going to walk around and shoot some good video for us as well. So we will have that.
By the way, speaking of Rambo Marine, and I know that you talk about those guys a lot. I literally live a third of a mile away from Rambo Marine.
Oh, really?
I live seriously, every single day when I pull out of my road, I look to my left and I can see Rambo Marine from the road that I pull out on before I go to studio.
I just love the name of it, and I didn't realize. I guess the owner name's Rambo. That's his last name. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I made that up, but I think the owner of Rambo Marine, his name is actually Rambo. I don't think he's John Rambo. You know what I mean? I don't think he's the actual Rambo that was pillaging and killing and doing all of that kind of stuff.
Well, if he was, you just let everybody know where he's at.
Yeah.
That's part of the problem in the movies.
Well, see, what happened was you got a little bit older, and he got done with all of that kind of stuff, and he calmed down, and he started a marina. He started a marine boat dealership. So maybe that's the Rambo. I don't know. So far we have hit John Rambo and Vin Diesel. That's a good start to a show. If we get a John Rambo and a Vin Diesel drop into the show, that's outstanding. All right, also on the show today, we will discuss Bob Uecker, who passed away today at age 90, one of the all-time greats, and we will get into that as well. We have some Bob Uecker sound for you to hear as well. But Bob Uecker, another unique voice that goes away. And for those that listen, and even with all the technology that we have today, I still listen to a lot of radio on the with baseball. It's the best sport to listen to radio. But one by one, we're losing all the unique voices. John Sterling has retired. Now, all of those great voices that were unique are gone, and a lot of the guys that you got now, they all sound the same. They really do. These younger guys, we're not getting those unique guys that you connect with, and there's something just so special about listening to baseball on the radio on a nightly basis and just kind of hearing it. Now, it's the same thing. I watch baseball every night during the baseball season. I watch a little bit of baseball every night. I watch a Yankee game, and then I watch some other games a little bit every night. You become connected. Michael Kay is my guy. When Michael Kay, there's 162 baseball games, Michael Kay does about 100 of them, 110 of them. When I turn the TV on and Michael Kay is not doing the Yankee game, I'm bummed out. I really don't want to hear the other guys, So you become very much connected to your baseball broadcaster. But Bob Uecker was one of one, and we've got some Bob Uecker sound for you as well. All right, we're going to get a break in here. When we come back, Ryan Jones is going to join us from the boat show, and he's going to give us some updates on what is going on out here at the Huntsville Boat Show. We are in the calm before the storm. Ryan's coming up right after this on the Thom Abraham Show.
Thom Luginbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold-certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing. We have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates. Residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out.
It's time to get your family into boating. The Huntsville Boat Show is back January 16th through the 19th at VBC. Shop, compare, and save thousands on your family's dream boat. Hundreds of new boats to purchase on site. Shop pontoons, wake surf boats, fishing boats, and more. Visit HuntsvilleBoatShow.com. It's time to get your...
We're sitting here with Stan McDonald. Stan, tell everybody why you're the best damn dirt lawyer in North Alabama.
Yes, Wes, at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. You know I'm a dirt lawyer, and a lot of our friends know that, which means we specialize in real estate. Now, if you own real estate or you're buying it or you're selling it, you need to do a closing, but a lot of times there's legal issues associated with that. We're a great group to talk to. My son, Lewis McDonald, heads our commercial closing division, and we approach your real estate needs very seriously. We seek to be the premier real estate closing company in North Alabama, and we do it in such a way it shows that we're experienced, we're for your success. We like to handle your real estate needs the same way Coach Dan Reeves used to say, never let them see you sweat. And that's going to be to your benefit, too, when you visit us at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. Our website online is jacobtitle.com.
And welcome back to Tom Abraham Show. On location, Huntsville Boat Show, year 3 for us. Year 3 for this iteration of the Huntsville Boat Show. And again, if you haven't been out here in the last couple of years and you say, that boat show wasn't that great, forget about that. This is a whole new promotion, totally different deal. And we are joined now by Ryan Jones, who is the organizer of this whole thing for third year in a row, having us out here and also joining us now. Ryan, welcome in, man. How are you?
I am fantastic. Thanks for coming back.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's good to be back, and it just seems to get better and better each and every year. And I think that's one of the distinctions that we have to do. We have to remind people, because there was a boat show previous to you guys taking over the promotion, but it wasn't anything like this. And, we want to make sure they know, come out and check this out.
Yeah, there's no RVs. There's no other stuff. This is all boats and boating-related stuff. So we're excited to be back. I know everybody in the building is excited to show off what they got new for 2025, and a lot of hot deals going on. So it's going to be a fun weekend.
That is part of it as well, right? I mean, you'll get pricing on boats, whether it's a pontoon boat or whether or not it's a ski boat like this or whatnot. I think, and I haven't made the run yet, I need to get around to the other side and see. I think there's some bass boats around here somewhere.
Yep, there's a couple in the back. Yep.
There's a couple of bass boats back there in the back, so I need to go over and check those out as well. But you'll get pricing at these events like this that you can't necessarily get anywhere else, right?
Yeah, and I was just talking with some of the dealers around, and I was kind of shoved all kinds of different stuff, pontoons and towboats and whatever they were, and I was like, wow, these are really good deals.
Yeah.
Almost like I thought they had the wrong pricing on them. And they said, no, it's in a lot of it, and if you've never been to a boat show, it's a this weekend only deal.
Right.
So, I mean, it could be a huge, we're talking thousands of dollars, sometimes tens. Just, so they want to sell boats this weekend. And it's unique because there's not a lot of shows you can just walk in and go do that. You can't go to the auto show and roll out of there with a truck. And so with this, you can come pick it out, bring your family, and pick out what's best for you guys and save a ton of money.
Yeah, and people come from all around. We're on as well. I'm on here in North Alabama, obviously, but I'm also on in Winchester, Tennessee, up by Timms Ford Lake on WCDT radio up there, which stretches up into southern Tennessee, but it's only an hour from here. So those people that are listening up there, I guarantee you there's not going to be a boat show anytime soon in Winchester, Tennessee. But, boy, this is an easy run to come on down here and, spend a day of the weekend, down here checking out what you got going on here.
100%. And there's not a show in Nashville anymore. So even in that kind of southern region and up into middle Tennessee, this is really one of the areas you can just shoot down here.
Yeah.
Is one of the best, to come down and, do it this weekend.
I think did I see Timms Ford Power Sports here as well?
They're in here.
So they're here as well. And it really is something. Now, you've also added something. I live on Timms Ford Lake, so I live up just over the border, and I know we've got, I also host Bassmaster Radio, which is syndicated on 200 radio stations around the country, and Bass has instituted this deal where everybody has to take a boater safety course, no matter how old you are, no matter how long you've been running. I've been running a bass boat since I'm 14 years old, right?
Yeah.
So, for 50 years, basically. But you still have to take a boater safety course eventually to be able to fish in bass-sanctioned tournaments, whether they're the local ones in each state, the Bass Nation in each state, or at the higher level. And you guys are doing something on Saturday morning, a free boating safety course on Saturday morning. Talk a little bit about that, because that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's big to us, and in all the cities we do these shows, boating safety is such a huge deal for us. And most of the time families are coming anyway, and like you're saying, it's now, what we noticed is we kind of offered it for kids, and then all of a sudden the parents go, I've never really done this. I didn't know that. I didn't know what those channel markers meant. So now having that opportunity, and if you come take the course, we're going to give you a free ticket to get in the show.
Oh, okay.
So come take the course, get everything done, and we'll give you a ticket to get in. So
do you get a boater safety certification?
Oh, yeah,
or is it
here on site.
So, boom, you get that, and that's good. And I think that even though we're in Alabama here, I think that's good. That would be good in other states as well, I believe. I'm not sure how
I think
it works.
so. I think it'll travel, especially if you're just visiting.
Yeah.
So, but, yeah, it's great. And we're going to do that, I believe, at 9 o'clock on Saturday morning, just right outside the main gates here. So they're ready for it.
How long have you guys been doing promotions? I know you come out of Knoxville, right?
Yeah, we're out of Knoxville.
You do the promotion up there. But how long have you guys been involved in doing these promotions?
This will be our, I think, 16th year.
Wow.
16, 17 years.
Wow. Because and the reason I ask that is it's, the pontoon boat used to be just a people mover. You know what I mean? It was just like bare bones, and that was it. It was just a people mover. I cannot believe the level of technology that has gone into those things over the past 5-6 years and how they have become. And it used to be they were all pushed around by like a 35 horse and you could barely get it on plane. I'm looking at, you got pontoons that got 300s on them and 250s. And
there's a boat over there with twin 400s.
Twin 400s on a pontoon?
On a pontoon boat.
On a pontoon boat. I mean, goodness gracious almighty. But the creature comforts as well. I mean, they have become, they're just absolutely amazing.
It's we talk a lot about it. It's like a floating fancy living room.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like nicer couches on those in some homes. And it's incredible, and just the function of it. And we're starting to see younger families buy it. It used to be, grandpa's got a pontoon with lawn chairs on it. Now we're seeing that. You're seeing families. That's where they're starting to boat at, is in a pontoon boat.
Yeah, Rambo is friends of the radio station. They've been with us in the past often, and I know our owner uses Rambo to store his boats and things like that. I was trying to get Rogan to let me do the show from the boat. I wanted to get up on a pontoon boat and broadcast from there, and I probably just needed to talk to Rambo and find out. Just bypass. I mean, it's cool being in our tent and everything over here, but I think it'd be cool to do the show right from one of the boats. And with the technology now, it's so easy to get it done. But it is amazing, and then we're sitting in an area where you've got all of these wake boats. Now, as a bass fisherman, they aggravate me a little bit sometimes.
Touchy subject.
It's a touchy subject.
Touchy subject.
I just wish they would somehow, especially on the bigger bodies of water, maybe they could have areas of a lake that would be off limits or restrict them or something along those lines. I don't know. It's hard for me to see that you don't really see the waves breaking. But, man, I'll tell you, those people
are rollers.
They're people, they're rollers. And, man, the people have a lot of fun, though, with them. There's no doubt. And it seems to be the thing right now. It's one of the hottest things going.
It's super hot. And, and back to the rollers and the big waves, there's an organization called the WSIA, which is really trying to educate those boaters to be aware of what they're, what that wake can do and what it can, between rocking other boats, shore damage, all that. And there's areas of the lake that are better to do it in. So they're working on that. But it is it's a hugely popular growing thing. So I think as it evolves more, you're going to see more education from the dealers and the brands and kind of saying, hey, you need to use these responsibly.
And the bass boaters, I think, have to be more aware of how those rollers work. I'm nervous that there's going to be somebody running in a bass boat, 50, 60 miles an hour. You don't see a roller coming, and you hit those things. And I did it once on Guntersville. And literally was airborne.
I bet.
I hit that baby and went airborne a little bit, and so you just kind of know how they work. But they're phenomenal as well, and very, very popular. And the other thing that I've seen here is you have entry points at a lot of different levels. It's not like, I'm not going to that boat show. I can't afford a $200,000 boat. No, there's boats there, almost at every level economically.
Oh, yeah. You get stuff starting below $50,000. You've got jet skis in here. There's all kinds of different stuff to get you on the water. So the great thing about the boat show, again, if you're new to boating, and I know this area is growing like crazy.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking, hey, I may want to go down there, the benefit of this is everything's here. Because one thing I've learned about Huntsville is all these dealers are spread really far apart.
Yeah.
So most people don't have the time to sit there and go, I'm going to take 5 hours to go here and drive here. Come to the boat show, kind of look at everything, and then look at the different varieties you like and narrow it down.
Yeah.
It'll save you, a tremendous amount of time.
Yeah.
And then these guys, you can strike a deal, get the, best deal of the year on the boat, and then when you're ready for it, when it warms up more, they'll have it ready for you.
And I don't think, some people may not realize that with boats, they're kind of like they fit in between cars and houses. The financing, you get 15 years, right, on a boat.
You can go to 20 on
They
a
can go
lot
to
of
20 now on
20.
a boat, so you can get 15 to 20 years on a boat in financing. And I know you have a lot of vendors also around the perimeter of the boat show. I see Towboat US down there, and you see some of the other vendors and so on. Are like any financial institutions or any of those kinds of places here as well, or no?
Not the financial guys, but most of the dealers have all their own. The dealers do it themselves. And so you get that. You've got dock builders. There's dock accessories. There's floats. There's all kinds of stuff. Swinging hanging chairs for your dock. There's all kinds of stuff. And
toys that you want to take on the boat. I know it's some of that.
I think I've told you, I sell boats in Knoxville too.
Yeah.
And one of the things we get asked is people move there and like, wow, we want to be on the lake. Where do we start? Okay. And they go, okay, where are you going to put it? Irwin Marine's here. They've got a dry stack. Talk to those guys. There's maybe you move to the lake and you don't have a dock. There's dock builders here.
Right.
So start the whole journey here is what we're trying to do for everybody is help them out.
It's outstanding. And, yeah, you do. You got every area covered, so it's a really, really cool deal. And obviously it must have been going all right because you've come back now for year 3. And and this is just such a great area with the lakes being between Wheeler and Guntersville, the whole Tennessee River system, and everything else. It is just like you said, it is growing like crazy.
Yeah, it's growing. We're to the point where we've kind of filled the building up, and if you haven't been to the VBC in a while, and a lot of people, when we started this, it needed a little facelift.
Yeah.
And they've really done a nice job with this building.
Yeah.
So it's kind of people are walking in going, whoa, what happened here?
Yeah.
So it elevates the boats and the building and everything. So it's fun to be back again. We really love Huntsville.
The whole area downtown has really taken off, and with the VBC and this whole complex as part of it, we got some great hotels now. I've been here 20 years in the region, and it was nothing like this. This thing just kind of stuck out like a sore thumb.
It really in the past 3 years.
Yeah,
we've seen so much. We didn't come down a lot before the show this year just because we've got so many contacts. We kind of know the area. And we pulled into town and we're like, look at all these buildings and apartment buildings. They're going up everywhere.
Now, are you still doing a show in Chattanooga?
Yep. Chattanooga shows in about a month.
Just in case you missed this one, I just want to throw that out there because we are on in southern Tennessee. Just in case you missed this one, if you can't get here, you can go to Chattanooga and see the boat show over there.
Yep. Chattanooga will be at the Chattanooga Convention Center February 13th through 16th.
And you got the perfect weather for this weekend because it's not bad. It's like 40-something out there, and it's going to be warm tomorrow, but it's a lot of sunshine, so it's like it's going to be cold over the weekend, but it's not like nasty weather, snow or rain or anything. So you come in here and hang out.
Yeah, it's perfect. I think it's going to rain a little Saturday morning. You're not going to be working, in the flower beds this weekend.
Right. You're not doing
that
anyway.
It's perfect weather to come on out and bring the family out for it.
$15 for a day pass.
Yep.
$25 for the whole deal.
For the whole weekend, and that's a big deal. So a lot of times what people find out is they get here, and if you've never shopped one of these, you're like, whoa, there's hundreds of boats in here. I'm kind of overwhelmed. I'm going to come back.
Right.
Grab a weekend pass. That'll get you in all weekend. It's a little wristband, come and go. You know, sometimes you're about to make a big purchase, and you need to slip out and maybe get a burger or a cold beverage to make your decision.
Stop by the Jack Daniels.
We've got the Jack Daniels tent in here too. So.
Take a shot by the boat.
Yeah, it's pretty. At all our shows, the bars do very well at the boat shows. The boaters come prepared.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And so it gets started today. We're in. This is the pregame show for today. It gets started at 2:00 right when we go off the air. 2:00 to 8:00 today, and then tomorrow. The action will be going on right from noon to 8, and we'll be on the air from noon to 2 tomorrow to get things kicked off as well. Saturday, 10 to 8, and then Sunday, 11 to 5. Kids 6 to 12 years old, only $5.
$5. Yeah, we lowered that down this year. We're like, let's get a little cheaper for the kids.
Get the kids in here because the kids will be tugging on the dad's sleeve.
Yeah.
Come on, Dad! I want that boat. I want that boat.
No kid does not like the lake. You never put a kid on a boat and they go, I don't want to be out here.
And then kids under 6 are free. They're free. And we should pay you to bring kids under 6 because those people are doing enough. You get a little 5-year-old running around the boat show, so it's great. Bring all the kids, though. There's a lot of cool stuff going on down here at the boat show. Ryan Jones has been our guest. Ryan, we appreciate you so much.
Yep.
It's great to be out here, and I know some of our guys, our listeners, will be coming by as well, and just have a great event this weekend.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Thanks for being here.
All right, thank you. That's Ryan Jones from the Huntsville Boat Show. So tremendous stuff. And did you hear what he said, guys? There's no boat show in Nashville? Joe, you and I both worked in Nashville. There's no boat show in Nashville anymore.
Which is surprising because I actually used to do a show every single week out at Lake Martin, or not Lake Martin, but over at Scoreboard Bar and Grill that was right on a lake with a ton of boats.
Yeah, I mean that's a huge area for it. I just wonder whether or not, I don't know what the issue would be. Of course, that building down there, between the hockey team and everything else that's going on. Of course, they got the convention center. They're a big enough convention center there for sure. That's crazy. So forget about going to Nashville to go see the boat show. I mean, you got this boat show right here. If you miss this next month, you go to Chattanooga. But, I mean, this is spectacular here. All right, we're going to get a break in here. When we come back, Bob Uecker has passed, and we'll see if we can't get some Bob Uecker out there for you as well. Plus, we'll get the phone lines going. If you want to jump on board, you can do that as well. 256-576-4977. More Thom Abraham Show right after this.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. For a limited time, G-Bank is offering a $250 bonus when you open a G-Bank Visa signature card. Apply today at vsin.com/GBank.
College football playoff championship game Monday at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. The line remaining steady. Ohio State, the 8.5-point favorite, 46.5 the total. Saturday in the NFL AFC divisional round, Kansas City laying 8.5 against Houston. Saturday in the NFC, Detroit 9.5-point favorites over Washington. In the AFC, Baltimore a 1.5 road favorite at Buffalo, while the Eagles are laying 6 at home against the Rams at Lincoln Financial Field, 43.5 the total. College basketball today, Jacksonville State a 2-point home dog to Louisiana Tech, 141.5 the total. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
The new favorite place for delicious Mexican food is Coralejos Mexican Grill in Huntsville. Check out their reviews on Facebook and you'll see what people are raving about. Enjoy drink specials all day, Monday through Thursday, like house margaritas for $3.99 and 12-ounce drafts for $2. Even vegan-friendly entrees on Monday starting at $5. Coralejos Mexican Grill, 1658 Old Monrovia Road in Huntsville. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram to stay updated on their specials.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
It's bowl season on ESPN Radio, including a college football playoff and national championship game.
The electricity, the atmosphere.
The Notre Dame Fighting Irish, the Ohio State Buckeyes, the College Football Playoff National Championship, presented by AT&T. Coverage begins Monday, January 20th at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN.
It's the beauty of college football.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Stan McDonald. Stan, tell everybody why you're the best damn dirt lawyer in North Alabama.
Yes, Wes, at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. You know I'm a dirt lawyer, and a lot of our friends know that, which means we specialize in real estate. Now, if you own real estate or you're buying it or you're selling it, you need to do a closing, but a lot of times there's legal issues associated with that. We're a great group to talk to. My son, Lewis McDonald, heads our commercial closing division, and we approach your real estate needs very seriously. We seek to be the premier real estate closing company in North Alabama, and we do it in such a way it shows that we're experienced, we're for your success. We like to handle your real estate needs the same way Coach Dan Reeves used to say, never let them see you sweat. And that's going to be to your benefit, too, when you visit us at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. Our website online is jacobtitle.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. We're going to be a little bit warmer across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Temperatures actually seasonal for this time of year. Highs climbing into the low and mid 50s, dropping into the upper 20s, lower 30s as we head into the overnight. Early Friday morning, a partly sunny sky. Friday afternoon, temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 50s, dropping into the 40s as we head into the overnight. Now, rain is going to move into the Tennessee Valley Friday night, Saturday morning, and that's going to stick with us through at least a chunk of Saturday afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Attention, may I have the camp's attention?
Your home of the college football playoffs.
Playoffs?
Is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Playoffs? Playoffs?
Welcome back, Tom Abraham Show. This segment of the show is brought to you by our friends at Owen Home Appliance Center. You know, it's laundry season at Owen Home Appliance Center. So if you're tired of that washing machine making all that kind of noise and jumping out the door when it's in the spin cycle, or if you're tired of having to dry a load 2 or 3 times, it's time to look at a new washer and dryer from Owen Home Appliance Center. Now, you can pick from brands like Maytag and GE and Whirlpool and Electrolux and, of course, Speed Queen as well. You can try the new 2-in-1 GE Profile that washes and dries a load all in one machine. Visit the interactive location, Lacey Springs, where you can try the washers and dryers before you buy them. It's Owen Home Appliance Center. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service. It's right there in the name, Owen Home Appliance Center. By the way, they'll be in the big home show in Decatur, Alabama, coming up. I got to check the dates on that. I think it's sometime early next month. I'm going to hold the Bob Uecker stuff here for the second hour because I want to make sure that we have a little bit of room to get that in with the great Bob Uecker passing away. Joe, I went over to the pontoon boat with the twin 400 horsepower outboards.
Yeah, I feel like you should do like a Tim Allen after that, too. That's kind of how it felt like this should have been.
I just was wondering, what a pontoon. I think of a pontoon boat and 35, 40 grand, nice pontoon boat. I think my son had one that cost about that and had a 115 on it, a Yamaha 115 on it. They have a pontoon boat over here that's got twin Mercury 400s on it. List price is $362,000. Now you can get it for the low price of $299.9 here at the show. Yeah, I mean you could get it for $299.9, financing just $2,000 a month. I mean, for your boat. So there you go.
Tom, I don't even pay that for my mortgage.
I'm saying.
I don't.
Hey, I don't pay that for my mortgage, and I've got a house, a studio, a guest house, and a barn on my property, and I don't pay that. But, so there you go, $299.9. They've got boats. They've got pontoons over there as well that you can get to for much, much less than that, under $50,000. But, man, I saw that, and I was like, I wonder what this thing goes for, $362,000. But not at the boat show, just $299. You can get it.
20% off.
It's, big boat. It's 60. Well, first I saw $62,000, right? So I saw $62,000. I said, you know what? For $62,000, this is a pretty dang nice boat for $62,000. Yeah, I kind of think about that for a moment. And then I looked at the sign again. It was $62,000 off. That's the savings is $62,000. Special boat show pricing is $62,000 off. Let me get Eric in here before the top of the hour when Tom Luginbill will be joining us. Eric, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. What's up?
First of all, my thoughts and prayers for the Uecker family. I remember Bob Uecker playing Harry Doyle in the Major League films. He was funny.
We got some of that for you. You're gonna hear some of that in hour number 2.
Okay. What's your favorite memories of Bob Uecker?
You know what? I thought Bob Uecker was hilarious on the TV show he was on. First of all, he did a comedy show that he was on, but for Uecker, to me, his Hall of Fame speech was unbelievable. One of the greatest Hall of Fame speeches ever. Him talking about how he should have gone in as a player was tremendous. And I always love when he told the story about how, and Joe, you would appreciate this being somebody that was a pretty good baseball player and was scouted and so on. I thought it was a pretty good story. They used to tell the story that the scouts came to his house and they told his father that we could sign your son for $5,000, and his dad said, "I don't have that kind of money." So I thought that was a classic Uecker story.
Well, thank you for taking my call.
Nah, man, appreciate it. Yeah, Scott. Yeah, we could sign your boy for a $5,000 bonus. Yeah, we don't have that kind of money.
Yeah, no, we were kind of reading some of them during the Blitz earlier, and one of the ones was in one year I was voted the minor league player of the year. But I'd been in the majors for the last 2 seasons. Yeah,
I've been in the bigs for 2 years.
Yeah,
I was voted the minor league player of the year. Oh God, Bob Uecker, he's tremendous, and he was he was underrated as a play-by-play guy for his beloved Milwaukee Brewers. He was underrated as a play-by-play guy because he was a caricature of himself. It was all about the quips and the funny stuff, and he was such an unbelievable speaker. But if you ever took the time to listen to a Bob Uecker broadcast, I mean, he was fundamentally very, very sound in his broadcasting as well. All right, we're going to get a break in here from the Boat Show. When we return, Thom Luginbill will join us from ESPN, ABC. We'll get his thoughts on how things might go in that national championship game. We'll do that next. Right here from the Boat Show live. More of the Thom Abraham Show coming up right after this.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
It's time to get your family into boating. The Huntsville Boat Show is back January 16th through the 19th at BBC. Shop, compare, and save thousands on your family's dream boat. Hundreds of new boats to purchase on site. Shop pontoons, wake surf boats, fishing boats, and more. Visit HuntsvilleBoatShow.com.
I'm Al Roker, and here's what's happening in your neck of the woods. Americans are boating responsibly. They know that on average, 2 people lose their lives and 9 are injured in recreational boating accidents every day. So they're wearing their life jackets, taking safe boating courses, leaving the alcohol on the dock, and of course, always checking the weather. You can learn more at www.uscgboating.org. The U.S. Coast Guard and I remind you, please boat responsibly.
It's time to get your family into boating. The Huntsville Boat Show is back January 16th through the 19th at BBC. Shop, compare, and save thousands on your family's dream boat. Hundreds of new boats to purchase on site. Shop pontoons, wake surf boats, fishing boats, and more. Visit HuntsvilleBoatShow.com.
Hello, listeners. My name is Jonathan Dunwoody, and I own Minuteman Press. We are a full-service print shop that is locally owned and operated. I have personally been handling direct mail for over 17 years and have a great relationship with the USPS. We are the only print shop in the area that is listed as a print provider on their website and the only printing franchise that can use their logo as our partner on marketing materials. We can help from conception to design, print, and delivery to the post office. And with our easy, secure online payment option, you don't even need to leave your office. Minuteman Press, we're not just putting ink on paper, we're building relationships.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news, Baseball Hall of Fame broadcaster Bob Uecker has died at the age of 90. In response to the New Year's Day terrorist attack on Bourbon Street that killed 14 people, the NFL and federal law enforcement are increasing security for Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans. The attack prompted authorities to add extra manpower and resources to one of the most highly protected sporting events in the nation. Increased security will include SWAT team members and armored vehicles. NBA tonight, Rockets riding that 5-game winning streak at the Kings, 9:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio. Chelsea leading the race to sign San Diego Waves center back Naomi Girma, while Arsenal and Lyon are also interested in the U.S. women's national team star. Girma, one of the highest-rated defenders of this current generation, is under contract with San Diego until 2026.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
It's bowl season on ESPN Radio, including a college football playoff and national championship game. The electricity, the atmosphere. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish, the Ohio State Buckeyes, the college football playoff national championship, presented by AT&T. Coverage begins Monday, January 20th at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN.
It's the beauty of college football.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
We cover all the SEC schools, including Western Union and Venmo.
I want that money!
You know, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog!
Now live, here he is, the big dog, Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show. We are live on location at the Huntsville Boat Show. It goes all the way through the weekend. We are T-minus 1 hour till the doors swing open. So this is the pregame show for the boat show. And then we'll be back here tomorrow as the doors will open at noon. So we will be on during the boat show tomorrow. So you're going to want to head on down here and check out some of these great deals that they have on these boats. And you know my buddy Tom Luginbill. Lugs, of course, he spent time in the Tennessee Valley. We've got great lakes and so on here. But he now has a lake house over on Lake Hartwell. And I would believe that a guy like Tom Luginbill would love to walk around here and check out all these wake boats and everything else that they've got going on here. And Lugs joins us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Lugs, welcome in. How are you?
I'm good, and bro, you could not be more correct. One of my favorite things to do in the world is walk around a boat show. It is awesome. I'm not kidding around. And
Yeah.
This year, I'm actually in the market. I'm going to be going to one here in Charlotte in February. I got to check some things out. So I'm jealous of you right now, bud.
Yeah, these boat shows are phenomenal, and they got great pricing. It's amazing. I'm not a pontoon boat guy. If my wife sees this pontoon boat, she's going to want to go that way. I have a bass boat, a 20-foot bass boat, and that's like having a Corvette, and she loves going out on that with me. But it's not like you take the family out on a bass boat. But they got a pontoon boat. They got a 24-foot pontoon boat that's got twin 400s on it. And I looked at the price. I thought it was $62,000. Then I realized it was $62,000 was the show's savings. It's a $365,000 boat. But you can get it for the low price of $299,000 here at the boat show.
Now, what world are we living in where pontoon boats cost anything more than $50,000? Right?
Exactly. And they got a bunch of those too. But this one is like. It's like a rolling living room, or a floating living room. It's incredible. And what's also cool is they've got all around the exterior of the all the boats are in the middle, but they've got, dock systems and furniture that you would put on your dock. And then they've got artwork that is great for the lake house and, that kind of stuff. And, they got all kinds of cool stuff that's going on. And look, 38 degrees out, sunny and clear. This is the place to be over the weekend. Walk around the boat show.
You ain't kidding, man. I'm telling you. Like I said, I'm jealous, dude.
Yeah, it is something. All right. A funny thing has been going on, regarding the national championship game. So Paul Feinbaum goes on his show, and he says he's pulling for Notre Dame because at least they didn't steal a safety from Alabama and a backup running back or a running back from Ole Miss. Not to mention, by the way, Seth McLaughlin, who was All-American center and it won the Remington Award, also from Alabama, and not to mention they got their quarterback from Kansas, right? So they got a bunch of guys. But so he's pulling for Notre Dame, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, wait a minute, is Notre Dame in this position without Riley Leonard? You know what I mean? I mean, they went out and bought a quarterback, and that's the most important position. So it's kind of naive to think that one team was bought and paid for, and the other team is just a bunch of homegrown kids, Irish Catholic kids playing at Notre Dame.
Well, the thing that's funny about that is what happens if Alabama goes out and secures 2 or 3 big-time players through the portal, and it helps them play for a national championship. Then what are you going to say?
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
This is what the game is now. And listen, Nick Saban said it best on the opening weekend, his first ever College Game Day show. He said, you can go out and you can pay all the guys you want, but if you pay the wrong one, you're SOL. And so you've got to credit Ohio State for doing their homework, and not just in the transfer portal, but also in high school recruiting. They had to beat everybody else on Jeremiah Smith, right?
Yeah,
and
right.
So, and in the portal, they had to beat people on Quinshaw Judkins. I think Caleb Downs, pound for pound, maybe the best defensive football player in college football. And as a true freshman, I had Nick Saban tell me in his office as we were meeting with them last year, he said, outside of Minkah Fitzpatrick, it's the best freshman defensive player we've had here in 17 years. And he was saying that about Caleb Downs. So I think at the end of the day, you just got to kind of call it what it is. Don't complain about it. Don't sit there and say somebody got stole. If a kid goes in the portal and he's any good, he's going to garner money, and that means he's on the open market. So do what you have to do to keep him.
And it would seem like the evaluation process is so much easier on a kid that has at least 1 year, if not 2 or 3 years, under his belt at the college level. I mean, you know a lot more about that kid than the 17-year-old kid, right?
Well, yeah, and I think, because you've recruited him already, you've established a relationship with him already. I think that's a big component to all of this. And really, we can say all we want about the transfer portal, but when you're talking about somebody of, a Caleb Downs and his stature and who he is, that deal was done before he even went into the portal. The guys that are really, really good, they've all been tampered with. I mean, that's just the deal. And if you haven't been tampered with, okay, that's fine too. But those really aren't going to be as good when it comes down to it.
Yeah, and I think there's a misnomer out there. People are so confused on what's going to be happening when the schools are going to start paying the kids, and they're going to have this budget of $20 to $22 million and so on. And everybody's like, wow, look at Ohio State spent $20 million on that roster. NIL doesn't go away, right? I mean, that's the thing that people – and I use the example, LeBron James gets paid by the Los Angeles Lakers, but DraftKings is paying him to do those funny commercials he does with Kevin Hart, right? Or, I mean, so it's like, these guys still have – that ability. So I think you're still going to see the gap continue to widen. You'll have schools that are paying players out of that money, that the revenue that they get from ticket sales and TV money and merchandise and everything else. So now they have this pool of money that they got to spread around the entire athletic department. But then if the guy down at the car dealer wants to kick in $1 million for that quarterback, he can still do that. It doesn't stop that from happening.
Well, no, it doesn't at all. And that's why we're talking about two completely separate entities, two completely separate situations here, because the settlement is for everybody, right? That's to ensure that everybody's compensated. But the NIL will now truly be based on what your value is on your name, image, and likeness, because this isn't how we were supposed to get to this, but this is what it's turned into. But I actually think the settlement will help the NIL side of it, because that's above and beyond, and you're only going to get paid NIL if you have value. The rest of it is just compensation through the settlement for everybody involved. Anything above and beyond that. And to be honest with you, I don't think you need a collective for that. That has to be done individually. Go out there on the open market, and if DraftKings or, whoever it may be wants to endorse you, then great, by all means. But that's on you. You got to go get that.
Yeah, or your agent. You can have, because you can legally have an agent for that and let somebody go out there and shop you. That's a whole nother cottage industry that has developed from this thing, is these agents that are shopping kids to various businesses and so on. And whether or not it's truly for name, image, or likeness, or whether or not they want that kid to show up and play in Knoxville, that's two different things, I guess. But, the result is the same. Thom Luginbill with us here. The one that kind of surprised a lot of people, if Carson Beck says he wants to play another year of college football, and this guy's not even going to be ready to play in spring ball. They were acting like when he got hurt, they were interviewing like whether or not he could come back in that game. And then it was like, okay, he's going to miss the Sugar Bowl. And then it was like,
right.
what do you, whatever. And then it's like, wait a minute, this dude isn't even going to be ready for spring ball. Decides to stay in college. So the first reaction would be, so then why isn't he at Georgia? $4 million is the rumor, the total package for him to go to Miami. The girlfriend is in Miami. But I kind of wonder whether or not, Georgia was like, you know what, we're good. You want to stay in college? You want to go into transfer portal? Go ahead. I don't think Georgia made any effort to keep the kid around. And I don't know that he's going to go from a second or third rounder to a top 5 pick in 1 year at Miami like Cam Ward did. Maybe he is. I don't know.
Yeah, well, listen, I think you're 100% correct on the Georgia perspective. I think they love Gunnar Stockton and didn't need to get in that battle and just say, hey, thanks. It worked out great for us for a few years here. We appreciate you. I hope you appreciate us. And it's time to move on. I think from Carson Beck's perspective, and I'm actually a little surprised that Quinn Ewers didn't do this as well, is you have an opportunity on the open market in college football right now until they start putting some rules in place to make way more money and stay in college and play than you do on a rookie contract. I think Quinn Ewers realized how poor of a quarterback class it is and was willing to roll the dice. And Carson Beck wasn't willing to do that with his injury history and the fact that, he's got to prove that he can get back on the field. He can actually play better than he played this past fall. And so I think the circumstances are slightly different. But from a financial standpoint, if the numbers that are being thrown out there are true, you're better off playing another year in college football because you're not going to make that in the NFL.
Yeah, especially in the case of Quinn Ewers, who, the scouts are saying he's got third-round grade. Now, somebody will overreach for him because that's what they do. I think both of these quarterbacks that are going to go, near the top of the first round are going to be reaches as well. I'd much rather take the Carter kid out of Penn State, or take Travis Hunter, or take there are a number of guys that I think are more sure things, but everybody needs a quarterback, so that's what you're going to see happening.
Well, and Tom, I tell you, to your point, I know for a fact there are NFL franchises that don't have Shedeur Sanders with a first-round grade.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's become more. That's become more and more. Yeah.
I wouldn't either, but just goes to show you that if it's a down quarterback here, like you said, somebody's going to reach, somebody's going to overpay, they're going to overdraft, and it's just the nature of the process.
Yeah, there was that one scout I had to note earlier in the week, and I forget who his name was, a former NFL scout, that said he went back and rewatched the BYU game, the bowl game, and he couldn't believe how overwhelmed Shedeur Sanders was, and he used words like, how is he gonna? He used the word timid, which is not a word that you want to have associated to you as a quarterback.
No.
Yeah, and he said that he was, how will he wilt under the pressure of NFL defenses? And it was like, man, if this is representative of what people are saying, we're going to see a guy sliding quite a bit. Now, the question is, does he slide past the Raiders? Does he slide past his daddy? If his daddy ends up in Dallas, and your thoughts on that? You work for the Cowboys. I sit here and I look at what Deion Sanders brings to the table, and we got to give him credit for the 13-12 at Colorado because it's Colorado. But he did have one of the best college quarterbacks in the country and the Heisman Trophy winner, and he went 13-12.
Yeah.
So, but okay, fine. But the thing he does is sells the sizzle and the hype, and sells himself in the program to the recruits and everything like that. That's completely opposite of what goes on in the NFL. I don't know how that shtick works in the NFL. Did we lose Thom there for a moment?
Well, you there?
Yeah, okay, you're back. All right.
I lost you for a second. Listen, the Dallas deal, there's a lot about it that makes sense. Obviously, the familiarity, the storyline, the hype, the machine that would be going on around that. But you've got to also understand that Dak Prescott has a no-trade clause to any team in the NFL without his approval. And quite honestly, if I'm Dak Prescott, I might want a fresh start. Like, I might want an opportunity somewhere, especially if I can choose it, because he's got control over the clause. But I don't know if this is something Deion Sanders would be overly invested in unless it was tied to Shedeur. Now, I could be wrong there. I'm of the belief that anybody has an opportunity to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. You do it, right? You do it. And there's a lot with Jerry and Deion and the familiarity history that makes sense with this. And
and a lot of people are talking about how good a job is it? Is the Cowboys really a good job? And I heard one guy talking this morning, NFL analyst, saying the Jacksonville Jaguars job is more attractive than the Dallas Cowboys job because you got the young quarterback in Trevor Lawrence, and you got to deal with Dak Prescott and his contract in Dallas. And I'm sitting there thinking, when did Dak Prescott become like a bum? I mean, I don't understand how people think of that. And when did Trevor Lawrence become all-pro? I mean, Trevor Lawrence, to me, has been very ordinary. He had one good season and has been very ordinary. I'm not sitting here ready to say that going to Jacksonville for Trevor Lawrence is so much greater than being the head coach of the Dallas freaking Cowboys, even with Dak Prescott. Prescott does not suck.
No, and listen, when you look at the National Football League, I mean, there are very few quarterbacks who can get you to the playoffs. He's been one of them, right? The question is, can you win playoff games and multiple playoff games with him? That's been hard to do at Dallas. But I think the big question, too, that you would have to ask is, who has total and complete control over personnel decisions? Is it the head coach? Or is it going to be a form of management ownership in the head coach? Is it going to be the general manager and the head coach? You know what it's going to be in Dallas, right? So then you have to ask yourself that question in Jacksonville as well. And I think it was Bill Parcells who once said, hey, listen, if you're going to ask me to make the dinner, you damn well better let me buy the groceries. And
and I see having influence. Like, I think a guy like Vrabel is going to have influence, but it's far and few between. We really haven't seen many scenarios where the head coach running the draft, being basically the GM, has worked. It didn't really work, that well, even for Parcells. But you certainly want to have a lot of influence. You would think that the scouts, and I don't know how it works. You know how it works, but I would think that the scouts, the football people, are working very closely in a good organization with the general manager and saying, this is what I need, and the GM gets him what he needs.
Well,
you don't just jam a
coach. And more importantly, that group is working closely with the coaching staff.
Yeah.
Because what ends up happening, and it's happened at every place I've been in professional football, is the coaches are going to bitch and say, oh, this guy can't play. And then the scout says, well, you're not coaching him right. Well, there's got to be a happy medium in there where you get everybody in the room together and you say, hey, we're all signing off on this, right? And if we're going to bring him in and draft him, you got to like the guy and want to coach him and think he's the right pick. You would be stunned, Tom, at how little that happens in the National Football League.
Oh, I saw it up close and personal in Nashville when Jeff Fisher, and I'm not speaking out of turn here, I'm just going to say it the way it is, because I was very friendly with both Jeff and Mike Heimerdinger, the offensive coordinator, there when they got, quote-unquote, stuck with Vince Young. And it was like they got jammed with Vince Young. Bud Adams wanted Vince Young because of the Texas thing, and Bud Adams being a Texas guy, and Jeff and Mike did not want him in any way, shape, or form. Now, the flip side of that is they wanted Matt Leinart. I don't know if it would have changed the trajectory of Matt Leinart's career. Vince Young did end up Rookie of the Year, but he was Rookie of the Year on a couple of off-schedule plays that's not how you win in the NFL. He did a couple of goofy things.
Wasn't Norm Chow on that staff too?
Norm Chow was on that staff as well.
Coach Matt Leinart at SC.
Yeah, exactly. And they all wanted Matt Leinart, and who knows? It might have changed. Matt Leinart might still be playing. You don't know. How that all would have worked out. Thom Luginbill with us here. All right, give me your thoughts on the game Monday night, because the dirty little secret is these national championship games are just not very competitive. If you go back to the start of the BCS era, if you go back to Tennessee winning in '98, these games so often are blowouts. The average margin of victory since 1998 is 16.5 points. They're just not a lot of close ones here. Tell me, look, they played a 17-13 game last year, 17-14 game last year. Even a game they played 2 years ago between Ohio State and Notre Dame wasn't a blowout. You know, it was still a game late in the game. Tell me if this can be a game, or are we going to see a boat race on, no pun intended here from the boat show, are we going to see a boat race on Monday night?
I doubt it this time around. I think both teams are so good up front on defense that it's going to be tough sledding. My concern is on the Notre Dame side, and I'm going to give them credit because this is what they do, and they don't deviate from it. But there is nobody that plays more man defense or cover one, which is man defense with a single eye safety, in college football than Notre Dame. They're in it almost 60% of the time. Well, nobody's got the guts to do that against Ohio State's personnel.
Right.
But I don't expect Notre Dame to all of a sudden go into the national championship game and become a completely different team. That's not who they are. Well, if you look at it from the Ohio State side, and this is the only area that I get concerned with, is if you're going to line up a man-to-man defense against Ohio State on a regular basis, on the season, Will Howard has the highest QBR rating in the country versus man defense. He has 9 touchdowns and 0 interceptions.
Wow.
So something's got to give there, because if that's what Ohio State wants you to do and you're going to go out there and do it, then I think you're going to give up some explosives. You're going to give up some big plays, unless Notre Dame feels like they're so good up front on defense that they can affect the quarterback before he gets the ball.
Yeah,
if they can't, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the flip side of going. If you're going to go cover one, then you better be. The reason you're doing that is so you can send 6 or 7, and so that you can get pressure on the quarterback and make it happen. If they pick it up, and those backs are pretty good, you know, at Ohio State at picking up the blitz. Both of those kids have been pretty good at reading that. But if they are picking that up, you're in a heap of trouble, because those 2 wide receivers for Ohio State are gonna run away from you. I remember the old quote. Now, this was about cover zero, but I was at a clinic one time, and Steve Spurrier, he was fantastic. This is when he was still coaching in the early 90s, and he was like, man, I love when I see that cover zero. He goes, I don't know what's going to happen, but somebody's band is going to be playing. So
That's true.
Somebody's band is going to be playing, you know, when he sees that cover zero. So we'll see how it works out. So what would be your prediction? Give me a prediction, because we won't talk to you before the game. So give me a score.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's some points here. I think it's going to be – I actually think Ohio State's going to win, and I think it's going to be close. I'm going to go 28-24 Ohio State, but I'm going to follow that with this. And I don't know how much you believe in this, but I do believe in this, because I've seen it happen too many times. There is something about this Notre Dame team. And sometimes when you're having one of those special seasons where the stars align and everything you need to have happens, and you just kind of turn into that team of destiny.
Yeah.
When you're having one of those years, it's hard to lose, right? Like, I worry a little bit that even though Ohio State may be the better team and have the better overall players, that Notre Dame could win the game, just because it's that type of season for them. And that may not make sense to a lot of people. That was Auburn in 2010. They had a lot of those things happen. Florida State had some of those things happen in 2013. It's just one of those deals that can get weird, and when the stars align, maybe it's just meant to be. And that's the type of season Notre Dame's been having.
Over-under on a game is 46, so you'd be well over it with that 28-24 prediction.
They're counting on the defense. They're counting on the defenses. Yep.
To me, for Notre Dame, I'm like, give me one special teams play, just one. Just block one kick, return one kick for a score, or deep into opponent territory. Give me one block punt. Give me one special team play, and that could be the whole game. That could turn the whole thing around, because they've been very good in special teams.
Well, they've done it in the first 2 rounds.
Exactly, and they're going to need. And I think they need something like that. I don't think they can just line up and go toe to toe, but they've got to do something a little bit off schedule, and then we'll see if they can get that done. Thom Luginbill has been our guest. Lugs, I appreciate you so much. Always done such a great job for us all season long. And I know you got yourself a little break coming up, so, good luck with that. And enjoy the boat show. Go to that boat show in Charlotte, and I want to see pictures of that boat that you ended up buying.
Yeah, right? All right, dude. Have a good one. Enjoy the game.
Appreciate it. Thank you. You too. The dude has a place on Lake Hartwell. You can't have a place on the lake and not have a boat. I mean, if you're going to have a place on the lake, got to have a boat. I mean, come on. All right. When we come back, I'll tell you what. You heard some ideas there, some thoughts and some picks there. When we come back, let's do an edition of Beat the Big Dog. I have 6 picks for you. The 4 games in the NFL plus the side and the total in the national championship game. Let's play Beat the Big Dog next. Caller number, we're going to be here for 2 days. Let's go. Caller number 2 right now plays Beat the Big Dog for $50 worth of Lawler's Barbecue and a couple of tickets to an upcoming Huntsville Havoc hockey game if you can beat me. And lately, everybody's beating me. Caller number 2 plays Beat the Big Dog next right here on the Thom Abraham Show.
Have you discovered Good Company Cafe? The place for breakfast, brunch, lunch, and so much more. Enjoy brunch all day and pair with one of our many seasonal refreshing drinks, including alcoholic and non-alcoholic options. Choose inside or outside on our gorgeous, spacious, dog-friendly patio and have some fun with friends playing yard games in the courtyard. See catering, to-go options, and lots more at goodcompany-cafe.com. Good Company Cafe, 7500 South Memorial Parkway.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Mark and Henry McDaniel, attorneys at law, are proud alumni of Madison Academy, and Madison Academy is proud of them. They have served our community through their practice, through volunteerism and service on national, state, and local boards. They explain the complexity of critical court rulings on local media. Their successful practice has been built on integrity. Both are veterans of MA Athletics and proud sponsors of Mustang football. McDaniel and McDaniel, attorneys at law. No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by the lawyer.
The new Cheeseburger Bobby's on Carl T. Jones Drive in South Huntsville is focused on serving great food prepared with the absolute freshest ingredients, featuring classic hamburgers and cheeseburgers with lots of specialty options, chicken and hot dogs, even turkey burgers and veggie burgers, along with fresh cut fries, onion rings, or coleslaw. Always fresh, never frozen, except for the frozen custard. See all the delicious options at Cheeseburger Bobby's for yourself. Check out the menu and more at cheeseburgerbobbies.com.
This is Steve Moulton for Lee's Magic Tunnel. Do you live out of your car? Does your car look like you've been well lived in? Then take your vehicle to Lee's Magic Tunnel, located on the Parkway. Any size of the vehicle, it doesn't matter, Lee's will get it clean. Offering many types of washes, but getting it clean inside and out. Ask for the manager special. That's at Lee's Magic Tunnel, located on the Parkway, and located online at leesmagictunnel.com for more information.
And Beat the Big Dog today is brought to you by the Service Department at Woody Anderson Ford, second to none. There for not only your routine checkups, keep your Ford or other brand in perfect working order, like an oil change, which I'm running over there tomorrow to have the oil change in the Thom Abraham Show F-150. But if you got a bigger problem, their expert service technicians will quickly diagnose it and use state-of-the-art tools to resolve it. Services include things like preventative maintenance checks on belts and hoses and fluids, plus air conditioner, brake, and tranny repair, bigger things like that as well. And they've got the beautiful mobile service as well, where they'll come out to you, and they can do an oil change or a tire rotation or parts replacement, like a windshield wiper or lights, any of that kind of stuff. And if you're only available on a weekend or in the evening, it's the Quick Lane Service Department as well. It's Woody Anderson Ford. I practice what I preach. I'll be taking my rig over there tomorrow, right after the show, to get my oil changed over there and have them kind of check things out, make sure everything is all good on the F-150 as well. Well, Joe, it's time.
You know, there are rules to success, my friend. Rule number 1 is know what you know what you don't know, and know that I gotta know everything you know since you know it.
Well, the crack hoe is going to give this a shot. I don't know if we call him Mr. Ho. Do we call him Crack? Or do we call him Ho? He's the Crack Ho. Just don't be a lemon. Everybody beats me now.
This without sounding
Really?
rude, but you're a lemon.
Be a lemon. So, Joe, what do you think? I mean, should we call him Crack or should we call him Ho? Or should we call him Mr. Ho?
I mean,
Not sure, you know.
Yeah, I think that's a question for
the Crack
Mr.
Ho?
Cracko. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mr. I think it's a question.
So is it Mr. Ho, or we want to put some respect on your name, or should we just call you Crack or Crack Ho? I mean, which is it?
Crack Ho is just fine.
Okay, so the Crack Ho is going to give it not a backhoe, but a Crack Ho is going to give it a shot here. Now, here's the deal. I have got 6 picks here. We're going to alternate our choices so that we don't end up with the same exact picks, and you will hear Joe's pick before you make your pick. So would you like to go first on the first game, or do you want to go first on the second game?
I'll go first on the second.
All right. So on this one here, I will go first, then you'll hear Joe's opinion, and then you make yours, and then we'll reverse the order on the second one. All right, we're going to start out. We're going to go in order of the games being played, and that means the Houston Texans are on the board because they always play the first game in the playoff weekend. They get 8.5 points at the Chiefs. Chiefs can win the football game. Chiefs win all these football games. Chiefs might win the Super Bowl, but they don't beat anybody by 8.5 points. It's just too many points. Somehow the Texans will hang around, and the Chiefs will go down and kick the field goal to win the game or something along those lines. But that's too many, 8.5. Joe, I will take the Texans plus the 8.5 points.
I'm actually right there with you because nobody's talking about this game because it's the least sexiest game. But with the way the Chiefs have been playing, there's a real opportunity for an upset and for either the Ravens or the Bills to be hosting an AFC Championship game next week.
All right, so what do you think, Cracko? It is not. See, I don't know about the upset. About that, but Texans get 8.5 at the Chiefs. What do you think?
I'll go with you. Texas. I don't think Kansas City's as good this year as previous. So
yeah, that's how it feels. It feels like
How it
Kansas
feels.
City's not as good. But 2 years ago, when they won the Super Bowl, they weren't the number 1 seed. It's just weird. It's like they're not real great at anything this year, but they're not bad at anything. And it's just
they're like Notre Dame.
Yeah, they just kind of choke you out a little bit, and they got the tight end. They don't have great receivers, but they got a guy here, and then they got the quarterback, and it's like they got a guy that can rush the quarterback. It's like they're good everywhere, not great anywhere, but they don't suck at anything. So we'll see. All right, in this one, you guys go first. Joe, the Washington Commanders take their ugly uniforms to Detroit and get 9.5 at the Lions.
I am actually going to go with the 9.5 of the Lions. I think the Commanders are a great team, but this offense for Detroit is a little bit of a different animal, and I don't think that the offense of the Commanders can keep up with them.
All right, so you're laying the 9.5. What do you think, Cracko? The Commanders get 9.5 at the Lions.
I'm going to take all those points.
You're taking the points. Okay, so you're going to take the points. I am with Joe on this one. I'm going the other way. I'm going to take the Lions. I think that if there's a boat race game, it'll be this one, and I'm going to take the Lions to just smack Washington around. I think Washington, they got the win, and now they go away quietly and hopefully become the Redskins again. All right, in this one, I'm going first. The Rams get 5.5 at the Eagles. I am pulling big time for the Eagles. I'm pulling big time for Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. This Rams team, though, is doing something. They have played really well the last 10 or 11 games. I'm going to take the points with the Rams. I'm going to pull for the Eagles, but this is, if there is an upset, it's this one. I will take the Rams with the 5.5, Joe.
I'm actually going to go with the Rams on the 5.5. I think that the Eagles will win the game, but I will go with the 5.5 when it comes to it, because I think that even putting the fake pass on the tush push on film, even though the pass wasn't completed, I think that that's going to cause the Rams to kind of have to think a little bit whenever the Eagles do kind of get close to a goal line or a tush push situation.
All right, so the Rams get 5.5 at the Eagles. Krakow, what do you got?
All right, give me the Eagles. Go, Jalen.
Going to take the Eagles on that one, so we're on opposite sides of that one. All right, on this one, you guys go first. And, look, the Bills were a 1-point favorite. Now the Ravens are a 1-point favorite. 1.5. I'm the hell with the points. This is a pick 'em. I'm just going to say pick 'em. Joe, Ravens, pick 'em against the Bills. What do you got?
I think the Bills are the best team in the playoffs, so I'm going to go with the Bills.
All right, Krakow, what do you think?
I agree with that, Bills.
Yeah, I'll make it a threesome. I'm going with the Bills as well here. I'm still waiting. The last big game that Lamar Jackson won on the road in the playoffs will be the next one. So it ain't happened yet, and I'm not looking forward to it.
By the way, the weather for that game right now is, at the moment, is going to be 11 degrees. There is a 55% chance of snow, and the field temperature is going to be -3.
Oh, my. Oh, my. Oh, my.
Oh, my.
I mean, again, you're talking about two teams in the Northeast, but that's going to add a little bit something
Lamar's a Southerner. You see Lamar on a 40-degree, 45-degree game. He's got the baklava on. He's got the parka on the sidelines. He's all covered up and everything. He always looks cold to me. You know what I mean? He always looks like he's freezing. And then you got Josh Allen. Where do you play? Wyoming. You know what I mean? It's like, come on.
This is a heat wave for him, probably.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, yeah, this is no big deal. All right, so to the national championship game. I pick first on this one. So Notre Dame gets 8.5 against Ohio State. Everything in my bones tells me that this one is going to be a blowout. But Notre Dame has got a little something special going on. So does Ohio State. But I think that Ohio State, I just think of last year, 17-14. The year before was a relatively close game. 8.5 is a lot of points. I know that the average margin of victory in these things is like, 16.5 points. I'm going to roll with the Domers here. I'll take Notre Dame. I'll take the 8.5 points. Joe, what do you got?
I'm going to go with Ohio State on this. Again, I agree with you. Like, I want Notre Dame. I would actually, if I'm having to pick a team I want to win, I think it is Notre Dame. But all tournaments, all playoffs are about the team that is hot. That's kind of the reason why your Rams pick doesn't sound so crazy. So I am going to go with Ohio State.
All right. What do you think, Krakow? You got Notre Dame getting 8.5 against Ohio State.
Yeah, I'm taking Ohio State. I keep being wrong about Notre Dame, but I can't pick them.
Yeah, well, we'll see whether or not the cleat fits anymore. All right, the over and under on the national championship game is 46.5. That's a relatively low number. Now, we just heard 28-24 from Thom Luginbill. I think that Notre Dame, obviously, I'm taking Notre Dame plus the 8.5, so I'm looking for a low-scoring game. If it's a low-scoring game, I think that's what Notre Dame can win, and I think that's where the 8.5 comes from that way. However, I'm going to hedge my bet here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say this game's going to go over. So this is how I'm going to protect against Ohio State boat racing them and drop. Why do I keep saying boat race? It must be something because I keep looking at these beautiful boats. I think that if Ohio State it wins this game, they're going to hang a big number on Notre Dame. And so I'm hedging my bet there. I will take the over 46.5, Joe.
I'm also going to go with the over on that. Again, the Ohio State offense is way too good. I mean, they honestly could throw up at least 40 points themselves.
All right, what do you got, Krakow? We got over or under 46.5?
Yep, taking over.
All right, so we're all on the over there. So on the in summation, We both like the Texans getting 8.5, not to win the game, but to cover. I've got the Lions. You got the Commanders. I'm giving you 9.5 with that one. I've got the Rams. I'm getting 5.5. You got the Eagles. We both like the Bills straight up against the Ravens. I've got Notre Dame plus the 8.5. You've got Ohio State. And we both like the over 46.5. All right, Krakow. Tune in Tuesday, and you'll know whether or not you pick up some chow and some tickets.
All right, sounds good. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, man. Thanks. I think that's the first time that Krakow has actually called the show, because he texts all the time. He texts in his picks and everything else, and I'll be honest with you, he didn't sound like a Krakow to me. I'm just, you know what I mean? I had in my mind what a Krakow might sound like.
Not under a bridge. I mean, I didn't hear anything from governors happening. It
sounded like an attorney or something, like a maybe like a CPA or something like that. He didn't sound real Krakowish to me.
No, I feel like that. I mean, again, he could also be a window guy, and he could just be dealing with a lot of cracks.
Cracks in a window.
Cracks in the window,
or cracks in a tool like a hoe. You know what I mean? Like fixing your hoe.
He could be an Ace Hardware guy.
He could be working at the hardware store. That's an absolute good point. All right, we get a break in here. When we come back, the great Bob Uecker is gone. We've got some tremendous sound from that. Also, some other news to get to as well. If you want to jump on board, you can do it. The phone lines are open the rest of the way, 256-576-4977 from the Huntsville Boat Show. That's where we are at. It's the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. For a limited time, G-Bank is offering a $250 bonus when you open a G-Bank Visa signature card. Apply today at vsin.com/GBank.
College football playoff championship game Monday at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. The line remaining steady. Ohio State, the 8.5-point favorite, 46.5 the total. Saturday in the NFL AFC divisional round, Kansas City laying 8.5 against Houston. Saturday in the NFC, Detroit 9.5-point favorites over Washington. In the AFC, Baltimore a 1.5 road favorite at Buffalo, while the Eagles are laying 6 at home against the Rams at Lincoln Financial Field, 43.5 the total. College basketball today, Jacksonville State a 2-point home dog to Louisiana Tech, 141.5 the total. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luginbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold-certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
Our customers trust us not only to find the right hardware, but to advise them on the technology that makes them more efficient.
My Next Level team researches and discovers real solutions. Check-in software, HR, digital signature, and workflow software. It saves you money immediately. We hold your hand and stay with you through the transition.
We're taking our customers to the next level in business process automation.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. We're going to be a little bit warmer across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Temperatures actually seasonal for this time of year. Highs climbing into the low and mid-50s, dropping into the upper 20s, lower 30s as we head into the overnight. Early Friday morning, a partly sunny sky. Friday afternoon, temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 50s, dropping into the 40s as we head into the overnight. Now, rain is going to move into the Tennessee Valley Friday night, Saturday morning, and that's going to stick with us through at least a chunk of Saturday afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Segment of the Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by the Orthopedic Center. TOC has taken care of thousands of area residents and 13 locations all throughout the Tennessee Valley, including one in Fayetteville as well. So if you have an orthopedic problem or considering professional care, TOC is the only logical choice. Whether you have a work-related injury or you got sidelined playing the sport you love, you need the best care, the best physicians, the best facility to get you back in the game, and I think you'll agree that the Orthopedic Center is right for you. We are here at the Huntsville Boat Show. Doors will swing open here in exactly 13 minutes, and they'll get things going. And it is just, again, just a really, really nice setup here at the North Hall, at the VBC. And, you know, not only are there the boats, there's all the accessories and everything else and all the booths that go all the way around it, from cutlery to some beautiful artwork, to there's a Jack Daniels booth, you know, if you want to imbibe a bit there, Tobo US. I mean, it's all good here at the Huntsville Boat Show. All right, so Bob Uecker passes away, and this was, you want to talk about a beloved guy. I mean, a huge part of Americana. I mean, he was funny looking, you know. I mean, he had everything. You know, he did have a 6-year career in the majors. He was born and raised in Milwaukee, where he was originally signed by the Milwaukee Braves. He ended up playing in Atlanta. He actually won a World Series ring with the St. Louis Cardinals. So he bumped around a little bit, but he was just outstanding. He was just everything about him, from the Mr. Belvedere TV show, the appearances on Johnny Carson. Johnny Carson is the one that glossed to Mr. Baseball. And he made many appearances on the Johnny Carson show. He used to open when he got out of baseball. He was opening for Don Rickles, so that was kind of where he got his, his comedic chops, if you will. And he did all kinds of great things. He said he had 2 career highlights when he played. His 2 career highlights when he says, 1, I got an intentional walk from Sandy Koufax, and 2, I got out of a rundown against the Mets. Those are his 2 career highlights. Taking a listen to some of Bob Uecker. Set these up for us, Joe.
All right, so the first one is one Thom has said that was his Hall of Fame speech, how amazing it was. You said it was, what, like arguably one of the greatest ones of all time?
18,000 people, and he had them in stitches the whole time. Take a listen.
And here's one of them.
Of all the things that I've done, this has always been number one, baseball. The commercials, the films, the television series. I could never wait for everything to get over to get back to baseball. I still, and this is not sour grapes by any means, still think I should have gone in as a player. Thank you. Thank you very much. There it is, boys. The proof is in the pudding.
What else you got?
All right, so another one that gets, it's weird because a lot of the stuff that you've talked about and a lot of his greatest ones happened in the 80s, but one of the earliest, or one of the ones that's happened like most recently, happened in 2018, and it was one big long call from him as Christian Yelich and Ryan Braun went back to back when the Brewers were down like 3 in the bottom of the 9th with 2 outs.
It's 2-2 now. Dominic Leone, all set to work. Here it is. Yelich sends one to right center and deep. Get up! Get up! Get out of here and gone for Yelich. He has tied the game with a booming home run into right center field. No doubt about that one. And the Brewers have tied the game with a Christian Yelich home run. Tied up 4-4. Base hit number 11 in the game for the Crew. And here's Ryan Braun. Ryan Braun sends it to left center and deep. Get up! Get out of here! Gone for Ryan Braun. He just hit a walk-off out of here. And the Brewers have come from behind to beat the Cardinals back-to-back home runs with 2 outs in the 9th inning.
Now, as I said, an underrated play-by-play guy, and that cut, Joe, is especially apropos because both of those guys played for the Huntsville Stars and the Nashville Sounds.
And that's the reason why I pulled those, is because the connection that we have with the city and with him, because I was telling the story on the Blitz. I met him when the Brewers were doing one of their last spring training games at Joe Davis when they were going to play the Florida Marlins, and the game got rained out, and he was walking out of the stadium going to get onto the bus, and I met him as he was walking on to get onto the bus from the rain out. And so we've seen a ton of Brewers players, and a lot of his highlights have Prince Fielder in them, as well as like CC Sabathia and those types of guys. That's just the newest stuff that he has that's from the radio calls.
All right, give me another one.
All right, so now this one is from the movie because now everybody talks about a lot.
Harry Doyle.
See, like Harry Doyle's this, but this was one that was such a subtle jab and a joke that it just kind of flies over everybody with all the hilarity of all the other comments.
Just a reminder, fans, about Die Hard Night coming up here at the stadium. Free admission to anyone who was actually alive the last time the Indians won a pennant.
Because as he's saying it, you're thinking, Die Hard, Bruce Willis. They're having oh, dang. Oh, okay, never mind. That's not it.
Good.
Yeah, and
you
then
get the one when he hits the home run, and the guy says that one's headed for wherever he's.
No, and then there was, and then this one's one of my favorite because I know that all of us have always been here with this one.
Yeah.
And it was once the game wrapped up.
Post-game show is brought to you by Christ, I can't find it. The hell with it.
Because we've all been there.
We've all been.
We have all been. Everybody, like, doesn't matter even if you're like a PA announcer. We've all been there, and we're like, crap, what's happening? And so everybody also, and this is the last one. Everybody also talks about the just a bit outside part, but they missed the joke beforehand. That again, we have all said if we've ever been in a press box.
Rookie sensation Ricky Vaughn on the pitch now. You can close the book on Kellner. Thank God. Vaughn into the windup in his first offering. Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Because every one of us, no matter what game it is, we have looked at our color guy or we've looked at a friend and went, thank God he's out of here.
Yeah.
But we never, we always do the same thing. That's why it was so funny.
A bit outside. The other thing, too, about that pitch is it hit the backstop.
Yeah, no, it wasn't even close.
Just a bit outside, and you can hear it hitting the back wall.
No, if there was a bull there, he would have hit the bull.
Yeah, that's fantastic stuff, man. Bob Uecker. All right, let me get Wolverine Dan in here and help him close us out here. You got a couple of minutes. Wolverine Dan, welcome in. How are you?
I've got 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Okay, real quickly. Joe, I didn't know you're such an athlete. That's very impressive.
Thank you, sir.
What position did you play, Joe?
Majority of my career I spent at first, and then I transitioned to outfield my senior year and through college, and then my last year of college I transitioned and I finished as a catcher.
Good for you. I appreciate the stories and everything. You know, a couple of things. First off, the jersey thing you said about they're going to be traditional jerseys.
Yeah.
Does that mean when the Commanders come, they wear their Redskin jerseys?
I wish they would, but no, that would be their throwback, so they can't wear their throwback stuff.
All right, so I'm going to try to get the rest of this through real quickly. Number one, one of your number one callers on your show, by far, his takes are great. He's very intelligent, is Grumpy, wouldn't you say?
Yes. Yeah, Grumpy's a legend. There's no doubt.
All right, so with that said, I got some things I want to say. Number one, I've been going on the sports show, talk shows in this town for 30 years, Tom. All right, I've been with Feinbaum, Johnny Ballpark, you, Michael McCahey before you, Bill King. I even went to the penthouse at the Omni Hotel and hanging out with Bill King and his callers. Okay? And also, I'm the original season ticket holder amongst a very small amount of people for the Huntsville Havoc. And I also was the original Blue Line member that we were involved in the Blue Line Club with Gibby when he was coaching. Okay? I did several tailgates at the Star games, the Huntsville Havoc games. Ask Tennessee Jeff. He can verify that. I got this on a list. I wrote it down. And
nobody questions your credentials.
No. Let me finish. I've done charity like crazy.
Yeah.
You know I have. I always step up when you need me. I'm there. I've auctioned off some of my jerseys. I've given you cash. I've given you checks. I've given you toys. And not only that, a Wing Bowl champ. Okay, I've done TV interviews on TV and local here, and I've done radio shows at the studios. I've done all that at the Christmas party you had years ago at your place in Huntsville.
Yeah.
I actually brought a bunch of baby backs. Remember I brought that one of those baby backs? Yeah, so, I've contributed to that. And then the last thing, at the Huntsville Hockey Legends game, Ginger and I, for 10 years, we'd walking up and down those aisles in that BBC and collected cash when people didn't want to buy those hockey jerseys off the players' back. They wanted to contribute. I can't tell you how many times autistics and local autistic in Huntsville. Yeah, and these kids are autistic. They got change in their hand, and it almost got me tears.
But nobody is questioning your credentials.
No.
I don't understand why.
Let me finish. Last thing here, and it's associated with the Legends game. In 10 years, Tom, in cash, the generous people in this town, Ginger and I, we picked up over $13,000. So what I'm saying is this. You got to give me a little extra time. I have paid my dues immensely in this town, and you know that, and some of your listeners know that, but not all of them. And so, Grumpy, you are a number one caller. I love your takes and everything, but Grumpy, you got to give me a little slack because I paid my dues, bro.
Well, we let you take us right to the finish line, so there you go. Thanks for the call, Wolverine Dan. That's a good job by you. I want to thank the folks here at the Huntsville Boat Show. You're going to see some video that John is going to be putting up here in a not-too-distant future as well. The Paul Feinbaum Show is next. I'm Thom Abraham. Have a great day, everybody.